I know what you're thinking. I'm thinking it too. You've seen the title. I've seen the title. What the f? I'll read it anyways, just for fun. I just found out my fiance and I are related. If you thought your day was bad, watch this video. And this story, it is a hot and ready pizza, baby, straight out of the oven. This story came January 3rd, 2026. Throwaway, because this is a massive secret, and we are fully expecting it to blow up in our faces. Understandable. I never thought I would post here, but the holidays uncovered something huge, and my fiance and I genuinely have no idea what to do. I grew up in a fairly large city in the South with just my mom, my younger brother, and me. My dad passed away of cancer when I was 4, and my mom supported us by working as an accountant for a mid-sized company. It was always just the big 3, as my mom liked to say. I've never known anyone from her side of the family. You might be married to one. She's always been extremely private about her upbringing, but as I got older, I picked up bits and pieces. Whenever we saw family, it was always my dad's side. My parents met as adults, but after my dad passed away, my grandpa really stepped up in my life. He took me to father-daughter dances, came to baptisms and major milestones, and was always present. When I asked about my mom's side of the family, I usually got short answers like, they're bad people, or we live far away for a reason. As far as I know, my mom left home when she was around 17 and never spoke to anyone from her family again. My grandpa on my dad's side never met anyone from her side. Almost 4 years ago, I got into a great university far from home. My grandpa drove me down to campus and helped me move in. During orientation, I met Tom, not his real name. We clicked instantly. Same humor, same values, same connection, and I had honestly never felt it before. We became best friends very quickly and soon started dating. Tom is also from far away, but our hometowns are extremely far from each other. Over the years, I spent some holidays with his family and he spent some with mine. My mom, my brother, and my grandpa, who passed away around Thanksgiving this year, all adored him and were very vocal about wanting me to marry him. His family accepted me just as warmly. Last year, his parents even gave him a large gift to help pay for an engagement ring. He proposed this past August. Now see, I'm all like giddy, like, oh, I'm so excited for you. Meanwhile, it was right around the anniversary of when we met. We are planning to get married in June, shortly after we graduate. One more piece of context before the actual problem. Tom and I became sexually active, about a month ago. We were both virgins when we met and had decided that we wanted to wait until marriage. After he proposed, we decided together that we were comfortable taking that step, especially since I'm on birth control and we were already planning the wedding. Our parents assume that we are waiting, but no one has ever directly asked. Until now, this has not been a point of stress for us. Here is where everything falls apart. This past Christmas, I stayed with Tom's family. My mom and my paternal grandmother are in the middle of an argument that I did not want to be involved in, and my mom was completely fine with me going elsewhere. While at Tom's family gathering, his mom's parents came over and we all had a big holiday meal, opened gifts, and had a great time. They even gave me several gifts with their last name on them. At some point during the evening, Tom's grandmother made a comment to his mom, who I will call Melissa. She said, "Melissa, do you remember when you and Rachel got me that planter for Christmas?" I leaned over and I asked Tom quietly who Rachel was. He looked confused and said it was his mom's twin sister who disappeared years ago. He had never met her. I immediately felt uneasy. My mother's name is Rachel, although she has gone by her middle name my entire life. I also knew she had siblings, one sister and one brother. Tom had mentioned an uncle who passed away around 2010. Oh my God. At the time, I convinced myself it was just a strange coincidence. Later that night, people were moving around the house and Tom and I ended up sitting alone together with some wine. I whispered something like, "I didn't know your mom had a twin." I think at that exact moment, it hit both of us. About a year ago, while dating, we had already realized our mothers shared shared the same birthday. We thought it was funny and even mentioned it casually once to his mom. We both started internally freaking out, but kept it together for the rest of the visit. The next day, I flew home to see my mom. Before I got there, Tom and I came up with a plan. I told my mom I had been talking to my gynecologist about some issues with my period, and that one of the intake questions asked whether there were twins in my family. I said I didn't know, and I figured that I should ask her. For the first time in my life, my mom admitted she was a twin. When I asked why she never told me, she went on a long, drunken rant about how her sister Melissa was a literal demon. My mom is, unfortunately, drunk most of the time. She also mentioned cutting her family off completely when she was young. What is wild is that my mom and Tom's mom look absolutely nothing alike. I was gonna ask that if it didn't get discussed. One is tall and brunette, the other is short and blonde. At this point, everything clicked. We confirmed last names, which were the same. I also learned my mom's maiden name for the first time in my life, which I know is strange, but she is intensely private. Tom and I are first cousins. We have no idea what to do next. A DNA test of some sort. Our parents have never met, but they are supposed to meet at our wedding in 6 months. Oh my God, I didn't think of that. Oh yeah. We have already built a future around each other. Tom has a great job lined up, and I have been accepted early to my dream law school in the same city. Our relationship is genuinely strong. We are the best friends and we're deeply in love. Ending the relationship feels like throwing away the greatest joy either of us have ever had. Continuing it feels terrifying. There are obvious biological concerns if we ever want children. There is also the very real possibility of being disowned or pressured to split once the truth comes out. We are stuck and completely overwhelmed. What do we do? Edit. Tom and I have read through all the comments and we really appreciate the thoughts. We have decided to talk to our parents tonight. We both fly back to college tomorrow, so it's really the last time we can do this before it gets dangerously close to the wedding. We plan to tell them what we've learned, but insist that it won't affect our plans to marry. Hopefully, if we lead with that, there won't be an effort to break us up. I don't know. I'm trying to be very kind. I don't want to offend anybody. But do we really want to stay together? Okay, we're gonna check out some of Reddit's comments because people are savage, but also because people ask some good questions sometimes and we get some more information. Someone commented and said, at least they weren't identical twins. So you're only first cousins? OP responded and said, we are first cousins. I'm not sure that would change if they were identical twins. We might be more genetically similar, I guess. Next comment, do you guys want to have children? OP said, yeah, we already talked about going the adoption route and avoiding the biologicals. Next comment, did your mom never know Tom's last name or where he was from? It seems odd she never asked more considering the coincidence of him having her same last name and city of origin. But I guess he could have the same last name as his dad rather than your mom's family. This is so unfortunate. If you guys are okay with adopting rather than having biological children, maybe Tom could get snipped to avoid the possibility and just go through with the marriage? Does that seem like the right decision in your heart? I don't know. Tom's last name is not her maiden name. It's his dad's name. It also is a really unique last name with a unique pronunciation. Nothing like my last name or my mother's maiden name. The coincidence is crazier than I can even describe. No one lives in the same state as the last time they all met, and our college is far from that. It's really, really unbelievable that this happened to me. Like, could be a documentary type unbelievable. Next question, can you say what state you're in? OP wrote back and said, our wedding venue and planned life is in New York State. Next comment, is it legal to have first cousin marriage in your area? OP said, it is legal in our state, but not in the state that Tom is from. We never planned on living there anyway. Okay. And then it says, OP explains if there are any similar resemblances between Tom and herself. She wrote, we have often been mistaken for siblings. Our friend group has joked about putting us on a sibling or dating website before. We have very similar hair, curly dark hair, and it's thick. He's taller than me. His dad is 6'5", though my dad was like 5'8". I mean, I remember Matt has been in a few videos. If you're new here, Matt and I have actually done full-length videos together we've been together for 6 years, okay? So back in the day. And people were commenting being like, you guys look like you could be siblings. And I'm like, awesome. We have dark eyes, dark features. I don't know. I get it, but like, gross. We have our first update, and it came the next day. My life is a little upside down. I wrote the original post in the early afternoon. At this time, my mother was out buying my brother some new clothes for his upcoming semester. I decided I would confront her after dinner. Tom and I agreed that I would tell my mom that night, and then we would figure out how to tell his parents. Dinner came and I wasn't eating. My brother kept asking why. So I eventually gave in and I told my mom that I had something important that I needed to talk to her about privately. She seemed to recognize the seriousness of my tone and told my brother to go to the gas station to buy some scratchers. When he left, I told her everything, starting with, "This is really big news, but I want you to know that I intend to continue my relationship to Tom." I told her that I had been at Tom's house and we learned that Tom's mom had an estranged twin and that I was confident it was her. I said the full legal names of Tom's mom and his maternal grandparents. I knew I was right by the shade of red my mother turned. She kept saying, "What? Is this an effing joke?" I even showed her Tom's mom's Facebook. My mother has no social media and never has, as far as I know. At first, my mom went silent while I sobbed. Then she erupted. She told me I needed to leave Tom immediately and never speak to him again. I told her I wasn't going to do that. She started yelling about how Tom's family was spreading lies about her to me. They don't even know her. She was being paranoid. I told her I didn't need to tell them anything and that this could be kept secret and simply just never meet them. Since his family is paying for the entire wedding, I suggested she just not attend and so she would never have to interact with any of them. That suggestion was not taken well. She called me every name in the book. Okay, well, I can't say all of these, but hooer, liar, the B word, the C word, etc. She screamed at me until she was blue in the face and told me that she would not allow me to return to school for my final semester. Around this time, my brother came home. He's a pretty low-key guy and does not handle conflict very well, so he went into the adjacent living room and just scrolled on his phone. I told my mom that I would marry Tom regardless and that if she chose not to be a part of my life, that was her decision. She called me ungrateful and continued screaming. Things escalated again when she demanded that I hand over my phone. Long story, I am actually on Tom's family's plan. She also demanded that I go to my room. I said no, I'm an adult, and she threw a 3/4 full bottle of Botanist gin at me. It hit my arm and shattered on the floor. "I'm stressed for you." This is when my brother stepped in and pulled me out of the house. We could hear her breaking things and swearing as we stood outside. Since my flight is scheduled early in the morning, my brother drove me to his friend's apartment near the airport. He works at the airport and lives about 15 minutes away. I had never met his friend before. My mother texted me multiple times asking where I was and calling me awful names again, but nothing else happened. I am now writing this from the airport, waiting to board my flight. I have a bruise on my arm, but it's not that serious. That's serious. Tom thinks I should have called the police, but I could just not do that to my mom, even if that ends up being the last time I ever speak to her. My brother brought me all of my belongings around 2 a.m. and then took me to a hotel connected to the airport. He is a saint. This is only half the update. Before we get the rest of the update, I need a sip of water. Honestly, I could use a sip of gin after this, but here we are. Let's hydrate. Cheers. Your little furry friend Lila has an update. Her paw is swelling again, so this girl's gotta go. She's gotta go back to the doctor. It might not be an infection. Apparently, it might be a cyst issue, so we're going to the vet next week, so stay tuned. The vet wants to see you next week if it doesn't get any better. But she's chilling. She's cruising. She's been insane. She's nuts. But, oh, look at your hair. You gotta brush your hair, girl. You gonna brush your hair today? After I left the house during the drive to my brother's friend's place, I called Tom hysterically. He told me he thought that he should tell his parents, and I agreed. After we hung up, around 10:30 p.m., Tom pulled his parents aside and told them everything. They had seen pictures of my mother on my Instagram before and had not recognized her, but once they looked again, they confirmed it was the Rachel they knew. Melissa cried and cried. Tom's dad, I will call him Richard, said the situation was very strange. They asked Tom a lot of probing questions, including whether we had been sexual and whether my mother knew. Tom told them everything. They were disappointed in him, but they did not dwell on that. After Tom explained what had happened with my mom earlier that night, Richard and Melissa completely changed their tone. They told him they still supported our marriage, but needed to make a game plan for how to handle this moving forward. They texted me saying incredibly kind things, telling me nothing had changed, that I was still their daughter, and that they loved me. Melissa also shared why my mom became estranged from them. This is only her side, and I may never hear my mom's, but apparently when my mom was in high school, she started to unravel emotionally. She would yell at their mother constantly and accuse her of favoring Melissa. Their father was the coach of the girls' basketball team, which Melissa played on, but my mom did not, and my mom felt rejected by both parents. During their senior year, my mom ran away with an older boy, not my dad. His family knew my grandparents well, so they assumed that she was safe, but my mom told them she would never speak to them again, and then she kept her word. The last they heard about her was 3 years later when the boy's parents said that they had broken up and that she moved to another city. This was the city where she later met my dad. They wrote letters that she never answered and eventually respected her wish for no contact. All of this came secondhand from Tom, who heard it from his mom while I was coming down from hysteria in an airport hotel room at dawn. The details may be fuzzy, but that is what I know. How I'm doing. I'm heartbroken and I'm sad. I've only seen my mother be violent once before when she threw a brick at my brother for sneaking a girl in. Okay, well, Mom has issues here, and that's abuse. I was always the perfect child, and now I cannot imagine her ever speaking to me again. It feels like I chose people she felt rejected by over her. My heart breaks for my mom, but I love Tom, and I do not believe it is fair to either of us to abandon this love. I am also scared of what she might do next. She went to my grandmother's house and my brother's girlfriend's house trying to find me. My brother refused to tell her where I was. She knows where my apartment on campus is. I have considered moving in with Tom for safety, but his parents asked us to stop being intimate until marriage, and I do not think they would approve of us living together. That said, they have been incredibly kind. They paid for my hotel stay. Tom was nervous about me staying at my brother's friend's apartment. I was mostly afraid of the roaches. Okay, yeah. They are texting me as I write this, sending florist options and talking excitedly about our wedding. Overall, I am okay, but I am terrified of the unknown. How Tom's doing? He is very anxious being away from me and incredibly grateful to my brother. He wants me to block my mom's number, but I am not ready. He encouraged me to make an appointment with my therapist, and we are hoping to attend a few sessions together. He has apologized endlessly and feels like he should have figured this out sooner, but that it is not his fault. If we had known earlier, we might never had the love that we share now, and I believe that the love is worth it. This morning, his father warned him not to share the secret with anyone. Tom is nervous about how our grandparents would react if they found out. If anything else happens, I will update again. Even though I regret telling my mother, I think it was better than lying and creating long-term deception. I honestly don't know how I feel about this. A first cousin, I understand there's no relationship, they're estranged, but biologically and blood relation, like they're first cousins. It's weird. It's weird, right? It's weird. I'm just contemplating everything now. I need to know what you guys think of this. I'm just trying to picture, like, if I just found out right now that Matt and I were first, yeah, let me know what you think, okay? Let's just get through this together in the comment section. Let's hash it out, all right? Stay classy out there, stay sassy. I'll see you tomorrow.